Mike Ryan, I need some executive guidance from you because I just tried right now, moments ago, to do the show with an assembled committee of judgment in Chris Cody and Amin El-Hassan. And I was asking them both a question on if I should do something during the Shadow Show. If I was asking for their editorial judgment, that's generally editorial judgment I've gone to you on. But I looked at you in the back row, and you're wearing a Jaguar head. And so it didn't project safety to me. And I stayed with Chris Cody and Amin, and this is the question I asked them. And I'd like a ruling also from Tony and from Jeremy on this.
Good balance.
Well, since we're here, right? Because I tried to decide something seconds ago, and I could have been the deciding vote. Chris went one way, Amin went another, and I was the deciding vote, and I didn't want to do it because I wasn't sure. That's why I asked them. I generally don't ask them for the opinion on these things. I wanted to just hit Shadow Show, and then after last night, right? The fun we had, that great football game, I wanted to start Shadow Show and then just play RFK talking about Trump 5 straight times and just play it again and again. And I asked Chris Cody, and he immediately slumped. Down the middle, Chris just fell apart. He did not want to do it at all. I saw it on his face. I went to Amin, and it wasn't with a lot of conviction, but he's just a yes man on this one. He's like, yeah, why not?
Yes, and?
Yeah, why not? So it wasn't a lot of conviction. But the mood of today, when Jameis is doing Snow Angels on Thursday Night Football, the mood shouldn't be no fluoride in the water guy, brainworm guy, doing Trump sound in his distinctive voice without any explanation. But if you could find any of that stuff funny, RFK doing that in that voice that you immediately recognize would have been funny with no explanation, but a little too political.
I think it's a little too political.
I
love polio.
This I'm here for.
Yeah, I love polio.
I love polio. Fluoride. I don't think we should do that.
Okay.
No, I think this is a great time for us to stick to sports now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just check out on the whole politics thing altogether. Look, hey, we gave it a run.
Mm-hmm.
We lost.
No, tried hard.
We
tried hard. Check, please.
We
tried
so hard.
really hard.
We made sacrifices.
Incredibly hard.
Tangible sacrifices. We lost. Okay,
Dan,
capitulate.
Remember the porn thing?
That's smoked.
Dan, you ever remember back in the day when you play pickup, you go to the park, you go to the gym, and it's like 100 people waiting for next, and you play that game, and you know, like, if I lose, it's going to be a long time before I get back on that court. Guess what, man?
Next.
Tony, the way Tony looked into my eyes and just searing said, you got smoked. We did try. We did
You
try.
just got accepted.
And we got trampled by America. Look at Jeremy. You can't see him because it's the Shadow Show. But he's dead in the eyes. He doesn't think anything's funny. And Jeremy, I'm with you. I ain't going to quit. I'm not going to give up on the fight and just talk comedy.
Get ready to learn Nelk Boys.
Check, please.
Play the RFK sound.
Quote, the way that you build a truly vicious nationalist movement is to wed a relatively small core of belligerent idiots to a much larger group of opportunists and spineless fellow travelers whose primary function is to turn a blind eye to things. We may not have that many outright Nazis in America, but we have plenty of cowards and bootlickers, and once those fleshy dominoes start tumbling into the Trump camp,
Fleshy dominoes.
Holy crap.
I missed the best part of that, by the way. What he says after that is better than the entire thing. He says, speaking of fleshy dominoes, Chris Christie.
I mean, isn't he a fleshy domino?
We're all fleshy dominoes,
if
Dan.
you go from that voice to then taking the power that he gave you. Hey, hello, Andrew Hawkins.
Hey.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Yeah. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls better tell me I'm awesome. Yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Stop that.
I said to Mike Ryan, how do we gloriously celebrate a Brown season that rises to 3-8 because the second worst of their sexual offenders, maybe kind of, is more likable than the first when he plays football and when he talks about football? Allegedly. Whatever it is that happened with Jameis, the details of which makes him likable guy today.
The closest thing to Mike Tyson we have. As far as redemption in terms of someone who has some sordid allegations in his past, but now, he's fine.
I was saying likable, not the allegations, but his personality. How do we celebrate these 3-8 Browns? And they bring me a former Brown immediately.
A legend.
Andrew Hawkins, a legend. They bring me immediately.
Yes.
They fly him in. Took about 2 hours to get here from Pembroke Pines because Miami's overcrowded and there's too much traffic.
Dude, we got to get a Meadowlark helicopter.
That's a great idea.
That's a great request for day one.
Because day one, I mean, that lead-in, that Browns lead-in, it's a helicopter. That's the least somebody could do.
Former quickest man.
Welcome, man. Sexual assault, am I right? Jeez. Goodness. Welcome, Hawk. It's been a while.
Jameis did and does rap and charming. I dare to say it. Is he fun, CTE?
He is fun, CTE. He's got the fun kind. You know how, like, with alcohol, there's some guys, there's, like, some fun alcoholics and some bad, mean, sad alcoholics? Same thing with the CTE. We're learning. It's on a spectrum. He's got the fun type.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sorry. Should we not go there? Let's play some sound from last night. It's too late. We're already there.
Here.
We started with sexual assault. Well, we started with RFK. I'm not sure that impersonation's allowed.
Yes, and.
But I allow it. I want to write because I don't know what the history of whatever it is makes his voice sound that way.
Do you want to go there or do you not want to go
No,
there?
I don't think I want to do that. I think I'd rather plead ignorance and keep
I
doing.
love that Tony has a theory ready.
No, it's not a theory. It's the truth.
You know why?
Yeah, but I'm not going to go there.
Well, I kind of feel like we got to go there now.
No, we don't have to go there.
No, maybe later. Maybe in the post game. We'll do it with Andrew Hawkins. Let's play just an assortment of Jameis Winston sound. I hope it starts with some of the sound from last night because every time he gets in front of microphones, it's fun CTE time.
The beautiful thing about today is it doesn't matter what happened in the past, and no one really cares about the future. Reality are we are where we are, but where are we trying to go? What are we willing to do to be the best that we can be today? I'm with you. I got your back. So be thinking. Actually, don't think. Be the best that you can be today, together. All right, man? Let's go.
What's something about you that a lot of people or that no one knows about Jameis Winston?
Well, I like cartoons. That's something. I'm a big Looney Tunes fan. I have two beautiful young boys, and we don't watch too much Looney Tunes because I get a little silly when I'm watching Looney Tunes. I don't want to see me in that space, but that's one thing.
What does a silly Jameis Winston off the Looney Tunes look like?
I mean, what's up, Doc? I'm just vibing. I got a little Disney in me too, like Goofy. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a little, The horse is prepared for battle, but victory comes from the Lord. So I'm dependent on the Lord.
Is that the message to the team?
Day by day, one play at a time. That's the message.
Weather conditions tonight. We're expecting winds up to 15 miles per hour in a wintry mix. How will that impact your ability to throw the ball?
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow, to be in true football weather in Cleveland, Ohio, at Huntington Bank Field today to give him the glory. It's a beautiful day. You got certain things that we're all like. Our body is so symmetrical, right? You got your wrists, then what are your wrists on the bottom half? Your ankles, you got your shoulders up top. What are your shoulders? Your hips. You know what I'm saying? You got your elbows. What are your elbows?
Knees.
Your knees,
of course.
right? Like so, it's symmetrical, and you just got to work different parts. That fourth quarter, it really was like it was a whole paradigm shift. Like we were playing so well offensively, and then bang, bang. Back-to-back drives with turnovers, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is really an NFL's filmed moment. The snow starts pouring down. It starts getting like I felt like my feet started getting heavy because I'm squishing through the snow. And man, it was so good, and it was so great to end up getting that win.
I don't know if there's anything more endearing or contagious in the gulf between players and customers than somebody who is clearly enjoying what they're doing. Just joy, childlike joy, plays football, just throws it all over the place, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. You get rid of him, you win the Super Bowl. That's how it happened in Tampa. I'll lead the league in passing, and then Tom Brady will replace me, and they'll immediately win the Super Bowl. And then he goes and does snow angels after the game. And it's so infectious that the entire studio goes with him because he's like, yeah, because what do you mean, of course?
He's a leader. That's what leaders do. They lead the way. Everyone, you get in. You subscribe. But face down snow angel is ludicrous though. Like what makes him insane is that he did the snow angel face down.
He's from the South, Hawk. Like, well, he doesn't know about snow.
Like teeth in mud, snow angel. That's wild. That's a good point though. He had no idea how to do a snow. That was his first ever snow angel.
Oh my
That
God.
is great analysis. Because I'm from South Florida.
You didn't think about it.
Well, winter just blew in.
No.
It's 63 degrees out there, and I went through all the winter clothing this morning. If I were a child and had fun CTE, I too would go face first into snow angels because I don't know how to do them
How
either.
am I supposed to know?
So many things. I never know what's off limit on this show. Like I don't like. You can't cross certain lines, but also fun CTE.
We're workshopping it. Hawk.
Okay, just
like
make
we might not be able to do it.
You tell us.
No, I don't. I'm just saying. It's hilarious, but it's one of those things. Like for me as a football player, it's hilarious with other football players. So I'm like looking for the other guy to be like, yeah, that is. Wait a minute, hold on now. I feel like they're laughing at me. But face down snow angels is like it's someone who grew up in Western Pennsylvania, played in Canada. College in Ohio, you can dive forward, but you immediately flip for the angel. You don't face down snow angel.
I got to be honest, tremendous analysis I haven't heard anywhere else, but only we in Miami need because everyone else seems to think that this is all obvious. I did not initially notice that he had done it that way.
Look at Andrew Whitworth. Watch his technique.
Been there, done that.
Dive, flip. It was not his first time.
Can we do something, please? Can we play that clip in the other room and have Hawkins do telestrating on it to explain to us the correct ways to do this as a football analyst? Because everybody out there is a child right now, and Jameis Winston led them through the playground of childhood.
Dude, I mean, Jameis is like, I have a theory that with Jameis Winston, and you talked about the season where he threw 30 interceptions, 30 touchdowns, 5,000 yards.
For the LASIK, though.
For the LASIK.
Yep.
That is a very important piece of that information. If he threw, it's like 20 bad passes prevented him from making $45 million a year, right? But beyond that, once we're seeing his personality, it's kind of like a sitcom, right? When someone says, yo, you got to see this show, Arrested Development, that's my favorite show ever.
Love that show.
If you just jump in on Arrested Development, one episode, it's going to seem like the dumbest show in the world. But once you learn the characters, once you learn Buster, once you learn Job, once you learn Tobias, then you're like, oh, I get it now. It's like the Dan Le Batard Show. You got to get the show. People now are getting the Jameis Winston show. And early in his career, he was never like a terrible quarterback. But I would imagine behind the scenes, it felt so weird that they were like, there's no way this guy can lead our organization.
Dude, I'm telling you, I have never rooted for someone to have a Tom Brady, LeBron-esque long career as much as I'm rooting for Jameis Winston. I want him to be in the NFL forever. I want him to be in a position where he has to speak into a microphone weekly forever. Because every time he opens his mouth, I am delighted.
Yeah.
Every time I hear sound from him, I get so happy.
You know what Jameis did for me last night? He made me want him as the backup down here for Tua.
Dude.
I saw a guy that can play in cold weather.
Dude.
Come on down here. He'll build. He's just a great team guy, building up Tua, massaging his arm on the sideline. I can picture it all.
Guys, I got to tell you something because I can feel it off of Jeremy in the corner. Forgive me for this, but Jeremy, sometimes around here, when the men get to a talking, some of the things that end up happening around here is how fun is Jameis Winston, and let's ignore the sexual assault stuff that makes him the most likable of the two quarterbacks.
We acknowledged it.
He's Mike Tyson.
Well, it's tough to just celebrate the personality, right? Like I was just having this conversation out there because I didn't want to be this guy on the show today, like bringing down the fun.
Too
because
late.
We're here, brother.
Here we are.
Play the RFK sound again, because
All right,
I'm here to support you.
Okay.
I'm here to support you.
With
If you wanna-
RFK sound.
If you want to bring down the fun, I'm right here with you.
Not really sure where the RFK sound comes into this.
Well, the way that you build a truly vicious nationalist movement is to wed a relatively small core of belligerent idiots to a much larger group of opportunists and spineless fellow travelers whose primary function is to turn a blind eye to things. We may not have that many outright Nazis in America, but we have plenty of cowards and bootlickers. And once those fleshy dominoes start tumbling into the Trump camp.
Don't know what this had to do with what we were talking about.
I'll tell you, your face was the same when I was playing this as it was during what we were just doing with the sexual assault stuff. Your face was exactly
he's talking
the
about
same.
a sexual assaulter, too.
You're a little bit of a fleshy domino right now. So
I am a fleshy domino. I'm always
belly
a fleshy
laughing
domino.
at fun CTE though.
But
I didn't laugh at shit, man. I
It
didn't
was
do
from
that.
the diaphragm.
He didn't laugh at that
I didn't laugh at
either.
anything.
He didn't.
I don't laugh at anything. I don't find joy in anything.
Jeremy did not laugh at anything that we were talking
Let me make something clear. There is nothing joyful about anything.
Also, if we're establishing that we have to mention sexual assault allegations in the past, you can't just cue it up for an RFK sound. He's got that too.
Well, they all do.
Do you realize how ridiculous you look?
For doing the grid of death thing?
What is going on with the
I lost. So the grid of death punishment that I had is the team that made me lose and go to the grid of death is I have to wear their mascot costume. We'll keep it moving.
Funny.
We'll keep it moving. Guys, I think, like, as far as a media show goes when it comes to Jameis Winston, no one awkwardly reminds you more of his past than us. I genuinely think we're covered in that respect. It's a difficult thing to talk about, and we always point to, like, that happened. I will say, since then, totally kept his nose clean and is now a beloved character in the NFL.
Like Mike Tyson.
That's not true.
He
That's
hasn't
not true.
since as a pro?
He was suspended 3 games for groping an Uber driver.
Forgot all about that.
Thank you.
There
I
you
thought
go.
that
So
was
remind me of that
what
one.
you were talking
Yeah, I
about.
thought
No,
that was
I'm talking about
there's
what
another-
happened in college when he
crab
he was
legs?
when he was accused of rape. And that case was only dismissed because of how long things went along. He settled out of court right before his civil trial began. The criminal investigation never went that far because the initial complaint was dropped after the detective on the case told the victim that this was a big football town and they needed to be careful. Okay? These types of things happen all the time, all across America. And we elect them, the people who do this, the president. So I know that I'm on the losing side of this battle, and I just feel like it's important that we bring these things up rather than just like celebrating, oh, look at quirky, fun Jameis Winston. It's let the guy play in the NFL. He never ended up being criminally convicted of anything. All of those things. I'm not saying he shouldn't have an opportunity to do his profession from here, but it's just hard when we're now taking it from, oh, this guy's playing good at quarterback to like, let's celebrate how fun and quirky he is.
I hear you. But did you see that snow angel?
Snow Angel was pretty good.
I mean, come on. He slid like a seal.
You know what
talk
it
about
is?
this anymore.
Finally,
can stop talking
someone
about it.
who ruins the fun around here more than I do.
Yeah, you're welcome,
Finally.
Dan.
I genuinely don't want to talk about it anymore.
We don't have to.
Totally
We did it.
totally
We did
ruined
it. Look, I just wanted to make sure that it got set.
It
I didn't
always
want to do
gets
this.
said. It always
That's fine.
gets
It always
said.
gets said. Did you
There
see
was
the
never
pass to
time-
Jerry Judy over the top? It was an incredible pass.
It's
In the snow.
It's
literally always gets
it's
said.
where Dan started. It's like the first thing he said about Jameis.
You guys didn't even know it happened.
No. Actually, I think you got confused
I
because
will go out and say I'd never heard that story.
no, I knew about the Uber one. I thought he was talking
I knew
about a
the
new
Uber
thing.
one.
Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing that I was talking about. But it's just
Yeah.
it's always said on this show.
Oh, bad
And I don't.
Look,
at what point do we keep saying it has to be said? And
Okay,
we said it?
I just
Like, is
think
that
about
our
the women who listen to our show who either are victims of sexual assault or are watching what's going on in this country in regard to. And I hate, I hate the word. I hate me too. I don't like me either.
Jeremy,
okay?
you're
careful with that.
But you
But
do
careful
love
with that.
yourself.
You hate the
I hate
movement.
me too.
You hate the movement.
Yeah, the movement.
But yet,
Yep, the movement. You know
That's
what?
crazy.
I'm going far right myself.
That's a crazy
Fuck all of
thing.
me.
Okay.
It's just, Jeremy, I understand where you're coming from. You're assigning us a virtue that you're not assigning the people that broadcast these games. Like, we're literally
I
like
think
the
that's
only
wrong, too.
we're the only show in the game. Both covering it as like a league partner broadcaster, both in the podcast media space. We're the only one that consistently reminds you that this is happening. I understand it's a responsibility, and I think we kind of live up to it.
Okay.
But did you see that snow angel?
Let me retreat for just a moment, because during what was happening last night, because I want to get to this Myles Garrett sound after the game. It was wonderful. I loved hearing just one of the beasts remind you he's one of the beasts. I haven't heard him talk like that, and it's simply because where greatness resides, at the very top of all-time greats, he's like, hey, TJ Watt, stand down. Yeah, I know you got the giant hands and everyone's talking about you and you got the 5-game winning streak. I'm defensive player of the year. Watch this. When that guy's been wrecked by a car. Andrew Hawkins wishes he had that body. Do you know what Andrew Hawkins would have done to that league if he had the body of Myles Garrett? Physically stronger than everyone he's playing against?
I submit to you, he would have never made the league because you would have rested on your laurels. You being given less made you work harder and made you the player that you were. Buddy, don't change for anything. Don't ask God to change anything. You were made perfect. See, this is my.
He's the quickest guy ever.
Thank you. I was waiting for somebody to say it. I was going to say, when it comes to quickness and agility, you were looking at the Myles Garrett of movement. Okay, so please make no mistake. I did win the genetic lottery, Dan.
You just could have won it even more, though.
I never won a defensive player of the year. Touche.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you.
I was insulted on his behalf.
I don't have the fun CTE, so don't piss me off here today. God damn it.
Let's play that sound for the people, because that was an enormously fun game. It became all the more fun when it started snowing. Jameis Winston, so many giant plays in that game. Where you can turn and be like, Mike Tomlin, what are you doing? What are you doing with your timeouts? Do I need to let him score here? Jesus Christ, Jerry Jeudy looks a lot better when he's not in Denver. And when Winston's just slinging it all over the place. They were terrible on 3rd down, great on 4th down. That's the Jameis Winston experience. It's just him running around, enjoying himself. They love playing with him. That part is clear. And here's Myles Garrett after the game. Jeremy, what were his stats at halftime? Myles Garrett, so when they're up at halftime and you see that they're just smothering Russell Wilson in a deep play offense, what were Myles Garrett's halftime stats?
4 pressures, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble by the half. Okay. That's insane.
Yeah, and so after the game, and you guys tell me, because I've been watching these 3 guys, Micah Parsons and TJ Watt and him, and I've been like, that's the best that any of that can be done. But Myles Garrett is here to tell you, no, I do it better than the other 2.
I'm number 1. And, no, that's from edge defender 1, edge 1 to defensive player of the year. I'm the guy. So that runs through me. There's no other person being defended as I am, or schemed or planned against like I am. So this goes to show, you can throw that out the window. I'm going to find a way.
Hawk, I'm used to somebody feeling that way in a locker room. I'm rarely used to someone just saying it like that on a broadcast.
Well, someone's got to say it. You won't know I'm the quickest person in the world unless I come on the Dan Le Batard Show and let the world know. And the same goes for Myles. Maybe it's a Cleveland thing that, hey, you know what? I'd like some damn respect out here in Northeast Ohio. And I agree. You have to game plan for Myles Garrett in a way that people don't game plan for other people. Again, we're talking about TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett. These are 2 Hall of Fame level players who are ridiculous, and it's really, you can flip a coin. But I don't mind Myles staking his claim that he's the guy. We just don't typically see it from defensive ends. It's a cornerback thing. To be cornerback number 1, you have to come out, talk shit, back it up, and then everybody anoints you as cornerback number 1.
What's crazy is how much the TJ Watt thing played into last night. Having watched Myles perform, and I know his body's going through a lot this year. He's toughening it out quite a bit this season, but he got up for that game. Oh, yeah. It was visible, and that adrenaline was carrying over to the post game. Yeah. The TJ Watt thing was in his head all week. He's like, we're having a bad season and no one's talking about me because of it. I'm going to remind you.
Yeah, since February, when whatever TJ Watt tweeted and it was a nationally televised game. Everybody's watching. It's hard to get that kind of motivation for a team that's not doing well.
If I may, though, TJ Watt has led the league in sacks 3 years. I don't think anybody's ever done that. So Myles Garrett is like, hey, I'm the one, all the double teams. It's never me isolated. It's never me not being chipped by a back. It's me breaking through double teams. But TJ Watt, the stats say forever that TJ Watt, the way we do it, not the way that Hawk does it, but the way we do it, the stats say forever that TJ Watt is better than Myles Garrett, because no one's ever lead the league in sacks 3 years. Has anyone done that?
I don't know.
Reggie White, maybe? I'm just guessing.
Reggie had 2 in a row. I'm looking through it now.
I don't think that's been done before. And T.J. Watt just started. Like he can have what we're talking about. Their statistic. How do you measure these guys? Because when I saw Myles Garrett for the first time, I'm like, holy shit! I've rarely seen anything like that. It took me a couple of years with T.J. Watt. It wasn't like that from the very beginning.
I'm as big a Myles Garrett fan as there is, and I think they are so consistently great. What I give the edge to T.J. Watt is T.J. Watt has this intangible flair for the dramatic. With a game on a line, you feel almost certain he's going to touch the football. Now, Myles has come up for his team in big spots too, but it seems like in seasons that their entire identity is TJ is going to make a game-changing play, he delivers almost time in and time out. And I think he's just got that extra little bit of clutchness in those big-time moments that are huge game-changing plays that Myles is just falling short of.
You know, when Mike talks like that, he looks like a Jaguar.
Yeah, he holds his arms up. And he's like, "Row."
You guys do realize wherever the most competitive of excellence resides, that stuff gets stirred. It's not just Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt. Jerry Jones kept Robert Kraft out of the Hall of Fame again. Like Jerry Jones hasn't done any winning over the last 30 years, but he's going to make sure, okay, Kraft, you can make your Apple documentaries over there where you get the credit and Brady gets the credit and Belichick doesn't get the credit, but you can't have the jacket.
Hold on. Jerry Jones, Kraft, you want to jump in there?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm done.
Just my bad. Go ahead, Dan.
Thank you, though, Hawk. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad
you.
you've given me an opportunity to continue to isolate myself from everyone else.
Jeremy, how do I help you here? Because
you already did, Dan. Thank you.
I want this to be fun, but this has been the source of my unhappiness for the last 3.5 years.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Trump's president now. We're good.
Should we get like a sounder, like a siren? Whenever we're talking about somebody who has something, we just play a little.
Maybe gets pulled over.
I don't know.
Don't forget, there was that one time against the Steelers where Myles Garrett swung a helmet at Mason Rudolph.
Allegedly.
And he accused Mason Rudolph of saying the N-word, but then it just kind of went away. And then what are we all to do with that?
Yeah.
I like this bit that Chris has come up with. Like, I think Jeremy should put on like a cop uniform, and then like as the conversation's going,
bro.
we play that.
That's good.
Hold on, we play the siren, and it says, "You know why I pulled you over?" Like, no. Well, Jameis Winston has all these things that happen. Well,
Oh, sorry.
It's not a real cop. Hold on.
Okay, I didn't know where we were.
Wow, Jeremy.
I was getting into character.
How dare you?
I already said ACAB.
It would be great if Jeremy's character came in, I hate me too, on his jersey, and then arrested Andrew Hawkins for being black. What a heel turn. What a heel turn.
Jeremy, you in?
I hate me too. No commas allowed on the shirt.
Right, just the punctuation.
One word.
I mean, I'm with Jeremy. It's frustrating that there is a fatigue because in every facet of life, through politics, through celebrity, through even sport, you're going to have to do this. Look, 60 million people allegedly gathered around a TV to watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. There's a ton of baggage there, too. I think that our show in particular, because I'm just addressing our show, and I think our show and Jeremy kind of feels the need to maybe step on it a little bit more because no one else is doing it. No one else is doing it because it puts you in a really awkward position. You're gonna be exposed. Hypocrisies are gonna pop up every now and then. We're gonna have things like it's not a good look if we're talking about Jameis and Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones get mentioned and nada. So I understand our show is trying its absolute best. I think we've done the Jameis Winston shows. Hell, we did a year's worth. Nobody got into those allegations more than this show in the main media space. You can frame it in occasional discussions, but I'm not going to hold it against you if Jameis Winston has a funny interview and you just want to revel in the laughs. It's something that's several years ago. It's a part of his story. You don't need to tell his story every time he does something.
Don't worry. If you're a celebrity, they just let you do it.
I would say to Mike Ryan as I hear, that's right, no, and we were playing Nazi sound with RFK's funny voice because it's hard to laugh these days.
Flesh dominoes.
Fleshy dominoes is such a good insult. I want to make pink shirts that call people fleshy dominoes.
Why are they
like
pink?
Just because it's fleshy. I didn't know what the color
but the domino's
was.
like an ivory color, though, Dan.
Yeah.
My fleshy's brown,
My
man.
fleshy's
Go ahead.
Okay, my bad. I would think that I thought that I think of it as sort of Canadian scarred by the sun, but okay. I'm sorry, my bad
Black
for
Canadians,
cutting out a
man.
community. I hate me too.
A lot of black Canadians.
He's been there. He played there.
I played there.
Shane Gillis-Alexander.
The game last night, I think everybody was enjoying. Chris Cody, I know, didn't enjoy it until about 4 minutes left because he told everyone publicly that he would bet the college education of his child on Jameis Winston throwing an interception, and that had not happened before the last 4 minutes of that
Flanagan's
game.
went nuts when that happened. Everyone had that bet.
How fun was it to have Christmas football weather arrive out of nowhere in the second half, where the game is normal in the first half, and all of a sudden, okay, NFL November is here. White, and here comes Jameis.
There was one field goal where I thought it was good. He couldn't really see the ball in the air. It was just like, I think that's good.
And Njoku dropped an easy pass. Al Michaels couldn't tell the difference. Between Njoku. He couldn't see the field, right?
I think he called a white guy David Njoku for sure. I saw that on the internet.
Me and Tony had what's it called? PTSD from our time in Cleveland during the NBA All-Star Weekend because it literally looked exactly
snowed
like
on us like that. We were standing outside of, I don't even remember where it was, like McGillicuddy's bar or something.
Whatever that Irish bar is, the one on right across from the Q or whatever. But
I can't remember.
Let's figure this out. Let's figure out what it's called.
It's McGillicuddy's. Don't worry.
Wait, say here. Come on. Let's
Yeah,
keep
please.
pushing. Let's find it.
Quicksand. The name of the place was Quicksand.
No, McGillicuddy's. McGillicuddy.
Cross the
Great
street
place,
from
by the way.
Caddy corner to the queue or right across?
No, caddy corner.
Caddy corner. But my favorite part was as
Dog
we're
with
trying
a
to order an Uber, and Ubers were like 2 hour waits.
37-minute wait.
2 hours. It was a 2 hour wait.
Lyft was the way to go, by the way.
Everything was a 2 hour wait. And you know why I knew it? We were in deep shit? Because huddled in the corner was Jake from State Farm, waiting for his Uber.
Next to us.
He was just like shivering, wearing the ridiculous jacket he wore to Saturday All-Star Saturday night. And I saw him get accosted by drunk fan after drunk. Hey, Jake from State Farm. And the poor guy wanted to be anywhere but there.
Anywhere but Cleveland.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, because I have some sound here from Jason Kelce and what it is to be fame from TMZ that's uncomfortable, and Jason Kelce handled it well. But Jason Kelce, I don't know that he expected all of this that comes to him as a former center and what it is. I'm finding myself feeling bad for someone who's arrived at what would look like dreams that everybody wants because Jason Kelce got to fame very fast. You guys are pointing at another Kelce commercial,
Literally
right?
Kelce on a commercial right now.
Yeah, because they took all the commercials and they're getting a bunch of football fame that usually only goes to the quarterbacks. And it happened fast, and I don't know that you expect the TMZ sound that we're about to hear, and maybe you'll find it funny or maybe it'll be uncomfortable and you won't find it funny because it's clearly a deranged fan being just entitled. It's the worst manifestations of cartoon entitlement that there is in the relationship between fans in general and the people they worship. And this guy was entitled to an autograph from Jason Kelce and then just hit him with an assortment of crazy. Well, they don't have it yet. I mean,
is there anything
they don't
that we need
have
to
it?
clear
I mean,
with Jason Kelce?
They were filibustering. I was filibustering. Why do you think I talk so much around here?
We just want to make sure, are we good to go with Jason Kelce? Nothing in his history. Are we good?
Jeremy?
Officer?
I believe we're good.
I believe he's accused of ruining the cell phone of a college kid recently.
True. Bring it up.
Let's play the Kelce sound. Do we have it yet, or we don't have it yet? Because
let's talk more.
Amin has been stellar this segment.
Did we ever find the name of that bar?
Here's the thing. The
I'm going to find it.
Which corner?
Let me give you some criticism, Mr. Le Batard. When the filibustering starts to describe what's in the sound, then I feel like you're starting. You got to filibuster somewhere else. You got to dance around it. But once you start describing what's in the sound, it's like, well, now you're giving it away.
Filibuster Bluth.
I want this to be filibuster Bluth. Thank you. I want this to be something where it's like, okay, build up, set it up. And then when it hits, it hits. But when you start telling me what's in it, it's like reading the plot section of
I told Lewis in the talk back, Jason Kelce, in the middle of the last thought that Andrew Hawkins had. I threw it to Lewis, and I threw it to Chris Cody, and I told them I need the Jason Kelce sound. I'm still waiting for the Jason Kelce sound.
I know.
I have to say something in between, and you decided to give us the corner of the bar in the Cleveland that you were in that never produced any video that I would still like to see from you and Tony in Cleveland at the All-Star game.
That's not my fault.
Was it Buffalo Wild Wings?
No, it wasn't Buffalo Wild Wings.
Ye old Buffalo Wild Wings?
Oh, wait, hold on now. Oh, Buffalo Wild Wings?
Flannery's Pub.
Flannery.
Caddy corner from the Q.
There it is. Hey, do we have that sound yet?
Chris Cody, what is going on with the Jason Kelce sound? Are you talking to Lewis or are you talking to me, Chris?
I love this. This is a Friday.
We're not doing the sound. The sound is not ready. There was an issue. We're not going to the sound.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Let's filibuster some
Corrupted.
more.
What did he say?
No,
I was
don't
saying that.
paraphrase
I was saying that. If you have not seen the video, have you seen it, Hawk?
I have seen it this morning, yes.
And your visceral thoughts?
People need to be punched in the face, but that's not a good take. I like if
It's
more
a solid
people.
take.
It's a good take.
If more people got punched in the face,
Jeremy, you good with that?
I agree.
a lot of these things would solve themselves, right? Because I think that there's this like expectation that people won't punch you in the face, and if you say that you should punch people in the face, you get looked at a certain way. I've learned in my now 7-8 years since I played professional football that it is not normal to say, oh, when someone talks to you disrespectfully, that is okay territory to then punch said person in the face. So I am reformed from this way of thinking, but I do think in those situations that would happen less if people felt what the actual repercussions should be.
Here's the problem. 10 years ago, you were right. Now we live in an economy where they want to get punched in the face. You see how many of those prank videos where they run the prank on the wrong person, and then that person, oh, it's just a prank, it's just a prank. As if, that video still gets posted, and it still racks up numbers. Right. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. The only thing you can do to save yourself is not give it any attention. Yeah. Is to basically go catatonic, and that's what, look, as someone who's been a bully all my life, everyone knows, well, maybe not me, because I do still like bullying people who don't respond back, but for most bullies, they get scared. Like, if you don't do anything back, it's boring for them. It's like a bear. It's like you play dead. Like, oh, well, I want the chase. Me, not so much. I don't care much about the chase. I like knowing that deep down inside you're ignoring me, but I'm still annoying you.
There's a part of me that's sad for Jason Kelce. Because, the whole dynamic between him and Travis they are polar opposites, right? Like, they are completely different. One's a, superstar tight end that wasn't even really a thing before Travis Kelce, the way that it is now.
Wanted fame, though. Aggressively
early
wanted fame.
Wanted the spotlight, knew he was built and made for it, and now it's like this larger-than-life offering from Jason's side, which is an offensive lineman, which is the opposite thing. If you know anything about offensive linemen, they, don't do the things that Travis does or don't say the things that Myles Garrett does in a post-game interview. They pride themselves on being under the radar, people of the people, and not being this. And so it feels like for Jason, this thing is almost getting bigger than he ever thought it would, and he's having trouble transitioning to what life is like on this side of it.
Dude, it's what a lot of people find out. It's like, fame is different.
Yeah.
There's a different level, and whatever life he got to live, literally as an NFL player and as a Super Bowl champion, pales in comparison in terms of attention to what he has now. And that, there's positives to it, right? There's blessings that come with that, but there's also a bunch of curses, and one of the curses is you can't walk around without people bothering you all the time.
They just announced a late-night show with ESPN with Jason Kelce.
5 consecutive Fridays. He's going to be hosting a late-night show. He was on with Kimmel and revealed that, and now all the artwork is out on social media. My initial reaction to seeing that is like, oh, this is now a thing that's going to surround him that he has to guard himself against because he had the phone incident where the guy was clearly going for something, and then just a couple of days later, it seems as though someone goes in with the intention to get over using Jason Kelce and trying to get a rise out of him because he's already shown you he may throw your phone on the floor. So now he's going to have to totally shut it down before it spirals out of control.
Mike, I'm going to tell you exactly what it reminds me of. Remember the Britney Spears documentary? And they were talking about when she had her kid in her lap or whatever, and one of the videos they had was her going to Starbucks and getting mobbed. And I was just like, all I could think of was like, baby, why are you going to Starbucks? You send someone to go to Starbucks. Don't you understand where your life is now? You don't get to go to the movies. You want to go to movies, you got to buy the theater out. You want Starbucks, they build one in your house. Shout out to Jerry Stackhouse, right? Like, wow. You don't do these normal things
No coffee
anymore.
for you.
No, there is coffee.
Oh.
You don't get it like a regular person, though.
Right.
And that's not because you're better than people, but because it is physically impossible for you to do this. Kelce, when he hit the kid with or he hit kid's phone or whatever it was, you just walk in, dude. You can't do that no more. You got to have security. You got to have people doing this thing right here, and that's it. And it feels for a guy
What's
like
that thing? What is that
Very
security?
important.
Oh, he's right about that. He's right. It's people holding people back.
That's security.
Imagine that. Imagine a guy who made all of his money doing this, having to pay a guy to do this. That's crazy.
He needs a pass
He needs a
blocker
center.
now.
That's nuts. Jason Kelce needs a professional center.
But he's also going to have to pivot because, like, very early in his media career, he's a guy that's going to go out into the crowd and chug a beer, and he's just like, I'm the everyman. I'm going to come down from Taylor Swift's box and be among you guys. And now, as his profile increases, that shtick is going to get a little bit more difficult for him.
It's got to be curated. Right? Like, hey, you ever, like the All-Star Weekend, so-and-so's performing, Flo Rida's performing, and they have all these people here. You think these people are just people walking down the street? They were curated. They were selected. Like, you're the people who are going to be in the pit. And that's how he's got to do whatever shtick he's got to do.
You guys are seeing something with the Kelces right now that is a real interesting look into some celebrity, societal discomforts in 2024. This is Taylor Swift fame, and this is somebody, I haven't gotten the video yet, but I assure you,
it's been 20 minutes.
This is a person who's not totally mentally sane in what this behavior is, shouted at Jason Kelce, and how it's verbally, he's disguising it as love, and he is going from love to hate very fast and insulting Jason Kelce a number of different ways that if he did it in Jason Kelce's face or in Hawk's face, any 1/10 of the things that he said, he would have stopped saying them immediately because anybody who's not a celebrity would hit that person in the face to get them to stop saying the things they were saying on the other side of a fence. It was deeply offensive, and I marveled at Jason Kelce's grace coming back out there and signing autographs of someone who did not deserve anything other than to be pulled away, arrested, and embarrassed because of how bad the behavior was. But the point you guys are making, I think, and you help me understand it, because I don't think either one of these two human beings knew exactly what it is they were craving. But when Travis Kelce starts dating Taylor Swift and has been looking around, was asking Stugotz, hey, how do I start a podcast? Was looking around saying, put me on this Netflix space show. I want to be famous. I'm a tight end. I don't like that.
The Showtime space show, different space show.
Wasn't?
That's a fine. He was on the Showtime one.
Okay, my bad. You understand what I'm saying, though.
Yeah,
he wanted all of this. Jason Kelce stumbled into it because he got drunk at the parade and was charismatic. And then he ends up in a place that he couldn't have possibly imagined. And I wonder, as the late night show starts, if he asks himself, well, do I really want this if I can't just smash the phone? And I can't smash the phone when somebody disrespects me like that. I can't. Oh, I have to eat it and go back and sign the autograph of somebody who's insulting me for 3 straight minutes?
I mean, he did get a TV show like a month after smashing the phone. So, I mean, it's like it seems like as long as he's not in the wrong, people are okay with it.
Quick turnaround.
Wait, I'm unclear. Are we still filibustering?
I'm asking you guys if you think that there are a lot of examples in front of us where you would say, that person seems to have everything. I'm starting to feel bad for them.
I don't think anyone is mentally prepared for what Taylor Swift adjacent fame is, because her fan base is kind of like another level of obsessed because they feel like they know her and that she knows them in the way that she markets herself and communicates and has been there through social media for so long. So there's this like emotional parasocial relationship and attachment that the fans have that in turn turns every boyfriend and everybody adjacent in that boyfriend's family into mega celebrity that are hyper analyzed in ways that are different from anywhere else that they are in their career. And you could look at kind of all the past boyfriends and the way that they've been analyzed by her fan base. It's turned their fame that was already rising into a rocket ship that I don't know that they were prepared for.
For the love of everything, let's watch the clip.
Do we have it? I mean, you're trying to produce the show, and no one's told me we have the clip. I'm running the show.
I know, but this is tantric at this point.
Yes, I want to see the clip as well.
You're playing defense against me. I mean, it's not bleeped, this clip. We can play it, but there's...
Okay, well, this is the problem. They need to edit it because there's so many things said in it that are offensive. And so you keep wanting me to play the clip and stop filibustering. I hate me too. I don't want to talk like this much. I want to talk less.
Just play the clip and let Jeremy, at everything offensive that's said, siren it and then explain why.
Fine. Do we do that the first time? It's a long clip.
Well, Chris has control of the sounder.
I don't know how bad this is. It sounds like it's pretty bad. Can we just not and then wait a little bit? I understand it's tantric, but okay, we don't have the clip just ready yet.
Let's play it.
We can do it. Okay, fine.
Send me to the penalty box.
You couldn't put it to our name.
It's not that important.
May we please? May we please?
I have a habit of not signing for people that follow where I'm going.
We're here at it. We're not following you. We get every guest that comes here. Morgan Freeman did it with a busted hand. That's 100 times bigger than your sorry ass. You got a podcast and you think you're a hot shot? You're nothing. You don't love nothing but money. You don't know these streets. Your love is fake. No, we get everybody here. You're a hot shot. The guy that tells you up at Penn State. My name's Casey O'Keefe, and I represent the streets of Los Angeles, you punk. I'll take you out anytime, and I'll be running the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Watch for me, you. You and you love. Next question. I'm with the shit. Morgan Freeman, Harrison Ford have the time, but you don't. You. I don't want shit. Yeah! Yeah! Let's rumble. I'll put the glove down right now.
Go.
Put them on.
Sign.
Grab this shit.
I'm going to sign.
Grab it. Grab it now.
He's going to sign.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it.
I'm not trying to be rude.
I don't want it.
I'm not trying to be mean.
You are being mean.
I'm trying.
Nice short, buddy. People are dying out here. You are being mean.
Casey.
It takes a minute.
Jason, you're nice. I swear.
I appreciate your time, Jason.
Stop. I will never do that in my life, Lord. Do not put that on the internet.
Oh, well, it's a little late for that. Don't put that on the internet. I regret, the part I regret actually in all the bleeping is that we didn't bleep out that guy's name because now something bad's going to come his way, too.
I didn't hear it.
Well, it's not our fault.
It's on TMZ.
Jeremy, we good there?
Yeah, we're good.
Anything?
I'm glad it took all that time because we couldn't say the word fuck on air. Oh, gotta bleep out all those.
No, there were 2 other minutes in there where he used more offensive language. They were, let's go. You're going to have to leave because you don't know what the video is. You don't know what it is that they're, just get out. Just get out.
Got a minor penalty, 2 minutes for ruining comedy.
I'm good with not bleeping out his name, considering he's going to be running the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Seems important.
I'm walking, but I just want to say this. Jared Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers, every time he gets called for a defensive 3-second call, he goes, yeah! Yeah! And I'm going to do that every time.
You're going to pretend you did that on purpose. Okay.
Major penalty, 5 minutes, ruining comedy.
You don't understand that there's a process that has to be edited. You want to always say and do whatever you want because we're all having fun here, right? But that guy who's yelling at Jason Kelce, fun CTE, right?
That is the funnest CTE I've ever heard.
That was pretty fun.
The interesting part of that clip for me is you can see Kelce there. He's having this interaction with this guy, and he does the math of, I don't want another one of these bad ones, so he gets out. And that's him doing PR right there. He's like, you know what?
Terrible.
This guy hates me. I don't want another Penn State thing, so I'm going to get out here and I'm going to go try to fix it with this guy. You see it. You can see the wheels turning there of this is going to be another thing. I'm going to go try to fix this.
Yeah, that was a bad move. He handled that wrong. He should have walked over, taken the pin, chucked it 70 yards, and went back to the SUV. He'd be a legend today.
Hawk, help me with this because I really he's saying this is a bad take, but it's the most human thing what he is saying there. If I don't have to worry about fame and you disrespect me, I can just I could disavow you of that notion quickly by simply you will not insult me. I'm hitting you in the face. We're done here.
Yeah. I think it's fame is interesting because yes, you are held to a quote unquote standard. But if you opt into the standard that people create for you, that's when you're held to it. For example, Gronk can be drunk in public 24/7 and everybody loves it. And there are people that if they do that, it will be an article for the next 3 weeks about how he's setting a bad example. For Jason Kelce, who's now getting acclimated to this newfound fame, if he takes the approach that, man, I don't want people to think I'm a mean person, when you're well within your right to get off a plane, get in your car, and go the hell home, whether you want to sign an autograph or not. Well, now you're going to hold yourself to that impossible standard is what I'm saying with Kelce. Like Pac-Man Jones, who was a teammate of mine, a friend of mine, we were teammates. I've known him for a long time. Jeremy, not now.
I wasn't doing anything.
He got arrested again last week. Nobody cared because he can get arrested once a week for the next 100 years, and it will be.
They changed.
It's still Pac-Man.
They changed the entire conduct code because Pac-Man Jones existed.
Yeah, and that's like so for Jason. Instead of trying to hold up to a standard, he has to know with this level of fame, you do have the opportunity to create whatever your standard is. That's all I'm saying.
Well, see, but this is a huge one. What he's saying there is the difference between Jason Kelce getting to enjoy this and Jason Kelce being sad because they will try to change you, Hawk. They will. They will. Yeah. He's doing a late night show now for Disney. He's leaving Jimmy Kimmel. He's not. I mean, he's going to try to be authentically himself. It pays. Drunk in public for Jason Kelce has paid, but drunk in public's not really allowed anymore, is it?
It is if that's how you get over. Yeah.
That's it.
But is drunk in public allowed if he starts breaking phones in bar fights because you can't talk to him that way when you're right in his face?
He's survived that. He's just got to look out for him becoming meme adjacent and that, this is a guy that we can go after. And it becomes like a pop cultural thing to see if you can get a rise out of Jason Kelce. That's what he needs to navigate. And I actually thought he did a good job there trying to stop it before it becomes more of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy that said he's going to be running the cinematic Marvel universe. He also runs the streets of L.A., so he's likely a Crip, right?
Maybe a blood. Maybe a blood. We don't know.
Maybe a blood. Yeah. That's
he also
valid.
mentioned Morgan Freeman, who Jeremy has stuff.
He said he's bigger. Morgan Freeman, I've seen him. He's not bigger than Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce is a bigger human than Morgan Freeman. And he also mentioned that people are dying, which is true. People are dying.
It's always true.
It's always true.
It's important.
So I think Jason should have clicked, okay, this guy has fun CTE. Let me continue on with my life.
Chris, you mentioned the Penn State thing before, and speaking of them, they probably shouldn't have a program, right?
No.
It's a Friday, man. I feel it all around me. I see screen caps. I hear my friends mention Game Time as their go-to app when they need tickets. This thing is growing. It's like a rocket ship. You know why? Because it's the best secondary ticket marketplace there is. There's plenty of reasons. Panoramic seat views, all-in pricing, so there's no surprises at checkout. The Game Time ticket coverage, which is pristine. It's super easy to use. And also, if you're a first-time user, all you got to do is create an account and use a promo code DAN. That is DAN, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. Chris, Cody, what time is it?
Game time. Pickens is a weird player.
Very strange.
I love how strange he is. I tackling people away from the play, just telling you after the game, let's play the sound. We have this sound. I don't have to describe the sound for you before I play the sound because it is not sound that needs to be censored. But here's Pickens after the game, not exactly a graceful loser.
What do you guys try to take away from this loss? What's the message, in the locker room?
Just keep grinding. Like I said, conditions played a huge part in today's game. I don't really think the Cleveland Browns are a good team at all.
Nice.
Hey,
it's not like they were It's not like they were dominating the game when the weather conditions were more favorable. It's just kind of a weird one. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Teams that win based solely off of execution, really, because outside of T.J. Watt and a couple of other guys, maybe, they're not going to have talent advantages. They win because of execution, and certain variables can throw off how those teams win.
So you agree with him?
Yeah. Well, generally, yeah. I mean, Pittsburgh's better because they execute at a higher level.
I mean, one of them's 3-8, and the other one's 8-3.
Pretty obvious.
Pretty
obvious. But that's always the time. Like Pittsburgh does this. They'll hang tight with the big dogs, and then you'll be confused.
Oh no!
Wait
a minute! No! Wait! No, be clear on this. I know we all love Tomlin. We love that he might have the fun CTE when he talks. We all love Tomlin, but he's been losing that game for 20 years. Like for 20 years.
To the Browns
game.
Specific to the Browns, I think he's got like an all-time winning percentage.
Except on Thursday nights.
No. I'm not talking. I'm not talking about.
He always wins.
I'm talking about when you're 8-2 and you got expectations for the Steelers, and they're not going to win in the playoffs this year. They're better than I thought they were, and now they're 9-8.
Yeah, that's the story for a team that's not overly talented, that they win based off of schematics, how they prepare for an opponent, and certain variables can throw you off. You muff a punt, you miss a kick, there's a blizzard in the middle of the third quarter.
It's a snowstorm. I mean, I was actually shocked that Jameis, and I'm not to turn it back to Jameis, but the fact that he played so well in the snow shocked the hell out of me.
Well, he was excited. Did you hear him earlier before the game? He's like, he thanked the Lord
for
the opportunity
for snow
in real football.
That's a fan. That's a fan answer. Like, I've seen this on NFL films. I never thought it was real.
He was throwing some really beautiful passes that I think maybe shocked us because the camera view was so much worse than what it looked like on the field for the players, because Russ was doing it too. There were some big fourth down conversions that you're like, how do you even attempt that pass, even with it being fourth down?
Those are some sick passes. I mean, I don't disagree with George Pickens that the Browns are not a very good football team. I think we all would agree that they should be near the top of the draft. They should go get another quarterback. And it's just a matter of him losing after an L, calling the team that you played bad. That is the George Pickens experience, which I am all for. I'm just be honest. I like George Pickens. I like that he fights people when the Hail Mary is happening. I like that he fights people when interceptions happen.
Did we get an answer to what was happening after the game where he had to be held back and there were like fans?
He was fighting the DB while the ball was in the air. It was like it's like Tyreek Stevenson for the Bears, who is celebrating during the Hail Mary, and George Pickens are like a match made in heaven in that scenario.
Speaking of George Pickens, somebody on Sunday Night Live, shout out to me, on Sunday Night Live presented by Smirnoff, somebody asked me who the biggest villain was in the NFL, right? And obviously taking out what we know, thank you, Jeremy, about Deshaun Watson, I said George Pickens right now is the biggest villain in the NFL, and I don't think there's anybody close to him. He's power bombing people. He's suplexing people. He's talking shit about people. Like, he right now is villain number one.
Are we willing to go that far? Let me think about this for a second, because when I see how it is that Pickens is playing, which is just elbowing people all over the place, and you guys pointed out to me 3 weeks ago, you said he plays weird. Many years ago, I talked to Darnell Dockett, and basically he was just in Sundays for the money and the violence. He's like, I get to hit people for free. Is George Pickens as a wide receiver, is he just looking to fight everybody the entire game?
I don't think he's looking to fight people. I think he's a little. I like it, but he's off. He's off.
Fun CTE?
Villainous?
Villainous would be a good way to put it, I guess. But it's like a fire that so many NFL wide receivers care about, obviously, money. They care about getting the football to catch the ball to make themselves more money. Like, they care about how they're perceived. They care about their fame. When you watch George Pickens play, even like last night versus Denzel Ward, he would catch a slant, immediately starts talking shit to Denzel. Like, in the plays where he doesn't catch the ball, immediately turns around, starts talking shit. It's not an act. He's not trying to get under your skin. This is just literally who he is.
Pure emotion.
And just, like, I just love every minute of it. As far as an athlete, one of the most unconventional athletes in NFL history. He has no idea what he's going to do. It's like there is a cerebral piece of playing in the NFL of, like, when you watch a receiver run a route or when someone cuts, like, yeah, you think it's just your athletic ability, and some of it is instincts, but it also is fueled by past experience, what you know, your feel, your, like, very quick calculations of when somebody's coming, what you should do. With George Pickens, none of that. It's like literally all reaction, all instincts, whatever pops into my head.
Kadarius Toney also has this.
It might be right. It might also be the worst decision you've ever seen on the NFL field, and that's what makes it fun.
Fun.
Jerome
CTE.
Simpson was like that.
I love the idea of you having a teammate who's like, yeah, he's football, not really, but yeah, violence and
It's
really
all
athletic, and we'll get you 8 targets for 80 yards a game, and you're a deep threat with an old quarterback who's just going to throw parabolas the whole game.
You're a better football player when you are a fan of violence.
Put it on the poll, Juju.
That's
at
a bar.
Le
That was
Batard
crazy.
Show.
Just
Are you a better football player when you're a fan of violence?
Where were you with violence?
I was all for it. I actually miss it. Like, when I play pickup basketball, I try to tame myself, and then someone bumps me a little hard, and I immediately start sweating. I get a little grin, and I'm like, I miss this. Yes, please.
That's why everyone hates playing basketball with football players.
Please give me the good
time.
time.
Guys forget what's happening here.
Yes.
Well, this is the part that I don't think that we commentators totally understand. Amin tells the great story of when his sons got knocked out of the playoffs. Tim Duncan roared after making a 3, and Amin ran through the building afraid of him because he's like, that competitive fire is something I don't understand. This person liking violence and collisions, and yeah, I'm a fan of it. I don't think that's the world he lives in right here, where he misses the competing with somebody else. Oh, you think you're more physical than I am.
Oh, I love it.
There's a lot of creative license in the story that Dan just told there.
Wow.
Well, for a second there, I thought Tim Duncan was playing your children in the playoffs.
Tim Duncan,
His son's lost.
Your sick 3-pointer against my son.
You're Leandro Barbosa's dad.
Then I ran away.
Well, okay, what license did I take with Tim Duncan screaming on the court that was unfair? Because that's how you told the story.
The story I told was, first of all, they didn't knock us out. It was game 1. And it was game 1, and we were in overtime, and they ran a high pick and roll, and Shaq dropped all the way back to help out. I think it was Tony Parker kicked it to Tim Duncan at the top. And so no one reacts because, like, the scouting report, like, this dude hasn't attempted a 3 all season long. It's Tim Duncan. He doesn't shoot threes. And he shot that 3, and he made it. And, you know, Tim Duncan's always, like, reserved and cool. Where he turned around and goes, "Rah!" And I saw the look in his eyes, and it was game 1. And it was overtime. Game 1 at San Antonio. I was like, oh, we're not winning this series. Like, not the game. I knew right then and there.
Series was over.
The series, man. Then in the timeout, they came back from the timeout, and they showed the video of the huddle, and Pop was just sitting back, and Tim Duncan was grabbing people, and I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
He turned into Kevin Garnett all of a sudden. Like, if KD does that, you're like, damn it, all right, guys, let's go. Like, we got this. But it's like you see Tim Duncan acting that way, like, oh shit, man.
When did you run away? When were you when was the scariest moment of that for you? At what point did you shit your pants?
I didn't physically do anything, but internally, because I didn't
shit your pants. No, you ran away shitting. He's got it right. The way the story's going to be told 10 years from now is you slipped in your own feces and urine as you ran away from Tim Duncan's roar.
I ran out of the elevator, tripped over myself, and my drink splashed all over the elevator across the way.
That is correct. Let's get the bucket of death over here real quick.
No, we don't.
While we're doing this, Hawk is going to do it with us here. I want to also talk about the Shannon Sharpe sound. He just annihilated CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs for shooting a music video after their loss to the Houston Texans, and it was some real quality old man ranting.
It's a damn good football team, Dan. I don't know if you heard. Michael Parsons told us.
Jeremy, what do you have there from the bucket of death?
I have the Cincinnati Bengals, who are on a bye.
That's the second week in a row.
Really hoping I would get the Browns.
Hawk, are you familiar with the bucket of death? Do you know the rules?
I know who the Bengals are.
There you go.
Okay.
Not very familiar with the bucket of death.
Okay.
Rummaging. Here we go. Let's see. We got the Baltimore Ravens.
You pick a helmet.
Monday Night Football.
Hawk, you pick a helmet, and then you have a choice. You can keep it, and they have to win, or you have to do a punishment. You can put it back, but that second helmet you have to keep.
The Ravens are at the Chargers. The Chargers at home are a 2.5-point dog. That's a good game.
It is a great
Chargers,
game.
that kind of dog at home. Why is that?
Yeah, it's a sneaky line. I don't
Brother
know if
versus
I like
brother.
that. Yeah, I don't know if I like
Brother.
that. I think I'm gonna put it back.
Why is that?
Hardball.
Are you guys confused by that? No.
Yeah, that's a trappy line.
Push?
I don't know if I like
No.
that.
I'm so confused about which one's Jim and which one's John.
Yeah.
They
All
look
right, here we
alike.
go.
That's a
Jimmy John.
Bosa brothers.
I got the Big Apple.
So that's any New York team.
The Jets are on a bye. Thank you.
Okay, nobody likes when anybody wins around here. Mike Ryan, reach into the bucket,
Jags,
please.
So if you get a bye week team, you just
you just
you're
win.
good.
You won.
Just won.
Basically.
All right.
Houston Texans,
Not a
who they
bye week.
got?
Texans are at home against the Titans. They're an 8-point
We're going to
favorite.
keep that. Thank you.
That's a win.
Are you sure about that? I know it should
I am
be.
positive
I know it
about
should be. No, Hawk was
positive.
saying that's a win, and I just don't feel. I feel like a lot of people were saying last night Pittsburgh that's a win, and it's like I never know in
Yeah,
that. league.
I guarantee you they are not losing this game.
Didn't that line, by the way, didn't the Browns line go from 7.5 to 3.5 before the game? Did that move 4 points because of the weather?
No, Thursday Thunder took a little teaser.
Oh, okay.
I got the Seahawks, 1-point favorite at home against the Cardinals. This is a weird one. Yeah, I'm putting that back. Yeah, kind of like the Cardinals there.
Cardinals playing well.
They are.
I got the Cardinals. All right.
I was going to say, you're going to pick the Cardinals. Of course.
That division's tough.
I do feel like, though, our analysis right there of the Cardinals was the universal analysis with Cardinals playing good, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, solid.
Means home team.
But that was all our analysis, and I feel like that's America's analysis.
McBride, good.
That's a good analysis.
I got the Panthers.
Yeah,
Woof.
keep it.
No, the Panthers 10.5-point dog at home against the Chiefs.
All right.
So that might be the worst helmet you could pull out of there.
I have
It
a
is.
feeling I'll pull it out again.
So
I
the
don't know.
Commanders and the Cowboys is also the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Fuck.
Okay.
All
Wow.
right.
What did you
That's
get?
two-
Titans.
All right. Second worst helmet.
God damn it, man.
Okay.
I
enough,
guarantee you are losing.
enough with the curses.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's that bad.
Do
He
I
got the
not
Titans.
bleed?
He got the Titans, just so we're all clear.
Human.
I've got the Buccaneers here. They are.
Ooh, the
Tommy
greatest game of the
DeVito.
weekend.
Tommy
Tommy versus
Cutlets.
Baker.
Gabagool on the menu.
Giants
Evans
are
might
gonna
be back.
6-point favorite on the road at the Giants.
lose. I'd keep it if I were you.
Dable's coaching for his job, Dan.
Hawkins says
Which
that
means
with
nothing.
no comment.
Spoiler alert, he ends up losing his job.
Yes, but you heard which means nothing is the correct analysis there. I'll keep it.
Yeah,
All right, here we
they
go.
got to win a game here.
Does anyone want to swap with me?
Jags. Hell no. Who did they even play?
It's a bye.
Oh, the bye
You're
week.
good.
I still might put it back. Come on.
You want to put it back just a little
You're
bit?
going to put back you.
I don't trust them. I can't do it. Refuse.
We've made history.
Lions. There we go.
How did he pull a better helmet?
Pull a
That's
better
great
helmet than a
karma.
bye. That's crazy.
Less likely that they lose than the Jags.
Some people just have it, man.
Can you guys explain to me? I'd like Hawk's expertise here. When I say that Jared Goff, the Lions are a running team, right? If I tell you that Jared Goff is in the 20s in pass attempts, they're a running team. But Jared Goff also has 39 or 40. How many 300-yard games does Jared Goff have? Because I believe if he's not in the top 5, he's close to the top 5, and the top 5 is like crazy names. It's crazy names. The Lions have the best team in football with a quarterback I'm pretty sure people didn't want, right? The contract was too onerous. And the Lions, he was supposed to just be a bridge, was he not, to the next quarterback? He wasn't supposed to be the one who made the team the best in football, correct?
He wasn't supposed to be the guy. We were done with him. Because, the Rams were the place to be, and they got rid of him to get a better quarterback in their mind. But he has been playing lights out. He obviously was a top pick for a reason. But what the kind of key linchpin is the fact that their offensive line is so good that it unlocks all of the abilities that Jared, like the best case scenario quarterback of Jared Goff is with the protection that the offensive line gives him.
When I say put it in context, though, Jeremy, find out for me how many 300-yard games Jared Goff has in his career and where that puts him. What are you laughing about?
I thought you were going to say, Jeremy, find out for me if Jared Goff has any problematic things in his past.
Yes, that too. Find if there are any of those,
On
please. Okay, thank you. I guess the question I'm asking you guys, we spend a lot of time arguing about the value of quarterbacks and whether they're good or not, and Bill Polian says Lamar Jackson can't play the position and it's changing, and Jared Goff is a pocket passer in a system that is going to go down as an all-time great statistically because it's a different offensive game.
Yeah.
But if I tell you Jared Goff is in a top 5 class, and I don't know if he is, but he's got to be close.
Yeah.
Ever at the position in terms of statistics, you say what to me?
Top 5? Like just anything.
I'm just saying, I believe that, look, Jeremy, maybe I've got this all wrong, but I believe that Jared Goff is approaching statistically a place that very few quarterbacks have been on a running team. And I'm asking you guys, we spent a lot of time covering what is this position and who's valuable at this position. And I've got a discarded number 1 pick who was a salary cap deal so the other team could win a championship. And he's at the helm of the only team in football that we're totally sure is really good and the deep, deep favorite to be in the Super Bowl because of what the AFC is. And so I'm asking everybody here, what is Jared Goff?
So he only has 3 300-yard passing games this season. One of those was a 400-yard passing game. He has 39 for his career. That ranks 20th all-time.
Okay.
He also is one of the most accurate passers. He's got 5 games over 80% completion percentage in the 10 games the Lions have played.
So who are the quarterbacks who are in the top 5 there with how many? Just out of curiosity on 300-yard games. And I don't know if am I using even the right stat in making some of these assessments on whatever it is a quarterback is supposed to be?
I think 300 yards is probably a little bit more arbitrary than some of the other measurements. But, yeah, the top 5 is who you'd expect.
Breeze,
Brady,
Manning.
Peyton.
Yeah. It's Breeze at number 1 with 123 games. Then Tom Brady with 113, Peyton Manning with 93, Matt Ryan with 76, and Phillip Rivers with 73.
I'm going to go ahead and say Jared Goff does not belong in this
Not in the
conversation.
conversation, yeah.
Not for a while. And also, that Breeze record may never be broken.
I don't mind Jared Goff in the Matt Ryan conversation.
He's got to do it.
I don't.
He's got to do it. By it, below a Super Bowl lead.
I was going to say, he's on track.
He's got to win an MVP. I don't know. Like, he could have a very good career. He could be a Hall of Famer. And maybe he does belong in the conversation with Phillip Rivers in that he played in an era where no one would say that guy was the best of his era, but he was also still a good quarterback.
Dan just told me in my headphones, get a stat that supports what I'm saying. So here it is. According to NBC Sports, quarterbacks to hit 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a perfect passer rating in a single game. The list includes Ken O'Brien, Nick Foles, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and Jared Goff. Jared Goff, the only quarterback to do it twice.
That doesn't prove anything.
Siren. He's done it twice, though. Done it twice.
But he's playing great, I think, is what we're ultimately trying to get to.
Mahomes has 46 of these.
I've got a stat for you. I was watching Pat McAfee the other day. Do you know that he's 6-0 in games that he's thrown 4 interceptions or more?
That's a true stat.
According to Mr. Civ.
Mr. Civ.
Mike, I wanted to ask you, as we navigate what the modern sports climate is, how you feel watching that game last night. Hawk can talk to you organizationally about where it is the Browns are a spectacular failure. You gave up your fandom of the Browns in a big show of I'm no longer interested in this team we didn't believe you, and there has been no evidence since that you actually care about the Browns. When you're watching that game last night, does any of the old fan rise up in you? And because you did something publicly that not a lot, like you said you were no longer going to care about the Browns after Deshaun Watson, and you ceased to. You seemed ceased to care in any way because of what they did there. And now last night, were you jealous that the Browns are having a fun night in the center of football, but
No, I'm not jealous of that. Look, they had a pretty good season. They made the playoffs. The Joe Flacco thing seemed fun. I have plenty of friends that I made because of the Cleveland Browns that I still value. I'm happy for them, but I know how my body felt when I saw the lower third alert me that Deshaun Watson was headed to the Cleveland Browns. And I knew in that moment there was no turning back. And I got accused of virtue signaling. I feel nothing. I don't even feel really all that much hatred for the Steelers, which is kind of weird. There's sometimes that they bother me, but when Chubb went into the end zone, I was like, all right, Chubb. I root for Chubb. I root for Myles Garrett. I'm not breaking myself of that.
He'll be back.
But I root for them in ways that I root for Baker Mayfield. I think that's probably my strongest fandom attachment right now in the league is I root pretty hard for Baker. Me and my friends have been kind of like, because I'm friends with still like quite a bit of Browns fans, and they always hit me with keys under the mat. And they're like, what is it going to take for you to be back now that Deshaun's gone? And they're like, what if Cam Ward gets drafted by the Cleveland Browns? I'm like, I don't know how my body's going to react to it. I don't know. But I had this conversation. A bunch of people came up to me, and thanks again for everybody that showed up to Flanagan's, and they asked me the same question. I think it was such a traumatic experience for me that I realized right then and there, like having so much of my identity tied up in an NFL team. Mm-hmm. I'm not for it. I'm just rooting for guys in that league. I pivoted my fan width to getting really involved with the Miami Hurricanes. I don't think I'll ever feel the same way about NFL
I was like,
teams the way that I
Mike,
did.
you grew up, you became a man. It's like, no, now I put in children who play football. That's what my energy is.
Andrew just looked in
Cam McCormick's got 4 kids and 3 lives and a mortgage, and he's like 43 years old.
He'll be back.
You look ridiculous, Mike.
Yes.
And Andrew Hawkins is saying to your face 3 times now, to your Jaguar face, you will be back.
I mean, there's probably, Jimmy Haslam sells a team. There might be a scenario. Baker Mayfield comes back to the Browns and is welcomed as a hero.
How about Deshaun leaving the door open? You feel how he's leaving the door open? This is the part of fandom. Mm-hmm. This is the true Browns fan. Mm-hmm. Like and I know where he's at now in life. And I know this because my son is a true Browns fan. 12 years old. Week ruined every time they lose. Woke up this morning, went to sleep early last night because he didn't want to see them lose. Woke up this morning, found out they won. Completely different kid. Completely different kid. I know this is a part of Mike's soul. And I get where he's at, and I understand how it's like when someone who isn't an alcoholic, and I'm not trying to make light of alcoholism, Jeremy. But okay. Whenever you stop drinking, and it's like, I didn't like who I was on the juice. I just realized after a while it was, what are we even doing out here?
I feel healthier.
Really. Like
I feel lighter.
I wake up,
sleep better.
My mind is more free. The people around me like being around me more. And all my friends that still drink that I talk to all the time, they even are like, dude, I see something special in you. Are you ever going to come out again? And then the moment the right situation I'm going to have one.
That first drop of
let me get a sip of that Cam Ward in the brown and orange jersey. Can I get a little? Nah, just take one drink. It's not going to do anything. It's not a big deal.
Fast forward.
I mean, but
fast forward 4 hours.
I hear you, but Hawk, one of those moments.
Woo-hoo! Mike, the tank is back, baby. Did you miss me, Amin?
That moment has presented itself last year with the Joe Flacco story, and they're in the playoffs, and I'm barely watching the game. I don't even like.
Joe Flacco is not the
because he's a hated Raven.
That's not the drink that's going to bring you
it
back
wasn't
to the
the drink.
ball, buddy.
It wasn't your drink.
Cam Ward.
That's not the drink.
They're going to serve a Cam Ward. You're going to be like, one ain't going to hurt.
A Cam
I'll
Ward.
let you know how I feel about it.
A Cam Ward with 1 cube? Come on, bro.
You're smoking. We're smoking.
The water's
You're taking
not
a sip of that.
Yeah.
I pour it in your mouth like Salt Bay.
There's no playbook for. There's no playbook for all of a sudden being like a huge fan. Like it was my favorite type of fandom, and then feeling like they've abandoned you. So like, there's no real like playbook for me to borrow from experience. So of course I leave myself open. I'm sure like the Baker Mayfield scenario, if it were ever to play out where he's conquering hero, I'd be all in because I'm a Baker guy and that, all right, finally we've purged ourselves. We've made sure that we've capitulated, know that this is a mistake. But I don't think I'm ever going to feel that way again about pro team.
Mike, I think I hear what you're saying. And what you need is John Taffer to show up and do a fan rescue. You go over, they remake the whole
That's
place.
so good.
And then the signature drink that they uncover is like, put 1 cube, pour 6 ounces of da-da-da. This is the Cam Ward. And you taste it with a straw and, ooh, that is good. And next thing you know,
I'm going to stick around for a little bit.
Sales are up 30% after 6 weeks. And it looks like Taffer walks outside, looks up.
You're telling me Cam Ward. You're telling me that Cam Ward's getting drafted by the Cleveland Browns? I reserve the right to entertain it.
There it is.
The one asterisk. That is the one asterisk. Look at Jeremy.
That's who my son wants.
Look at Jeremy. Look at Jeremy.
Oh, Cam Ward's clean.
Look at him.
Cam Ward's clean.
I know.
Don't even think about it.
I didn't say anything.
Don't even look it up because we don't need to know. My son loves Cam Ward. He prays every day that the Browns are going to draft Cam Ward. He's watched the
Just like Mike.
documentary 1 and 2 at least 15 times over the last 3 weeks.
Jesus.
I kid you not. He comes home from school, he puts the U on.
This is like me with the Glimmerman trailer. I watch it every day.
Really?
Just to start my day, yeah.
That's an odd one.
No, it's not. First you hear a sound, then a glimmer.
Odd one.
You're going to look us in the face and say it's not odd that you start your day every morning with Glimmerman?
Gets me high. Not the movie, just the trailer.
Just the trailer.
Okay.
Just a quick 2.5.
Get there. Keenan Ivory Wayans shows up. We hear James Brown. I got soul. Dun, 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 and I'm super bad. Because they're odd couple, you know? Like he's a this and he's a that.
I want to play some Mad Dog sound for you guys in a second, but let's play the Shannon Sharpe sound because I did. I'd just be curious what Hawk thinks here because I love the power and voice and personality of Shannon Sharpe. I really do. I'm really happy that all his hard work is working out for him. But I was a little bit surprised to see him go on Old Man Screed yelling about the Cowboys. And it's an easy one. Everyone's going to side with him on this, but Trayvon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb, I'm assuming, had a music video set up before they knew they were going to lose to the Texans by 25 points or however much it was. And Shannon Sharpe has an amazing and great screed at their expense, but it's also every sports radio show I've heard for the last 30 years.
That's why y'all Cowboys suck. Because 2 of your best players, this is what they're doing. That shows you how much the game of football means to them.
Crap job.
That's what he told me everything I need to know.
Nig.
Yeah. All I got to do, I see better than I hear. Now, I heard what CD said. Trayvon doesn't do a whole lot of talking. I hear what Michael said. But my grandpa used to always tell my brother now, he said, I see better than I hear. I heard what I heard what y'all told me, but I know I see that trash still in the corner when I told y'all to take it out. Everybody talks about winning, but do you take the steps in order to win? How is partying? You got your ass kicked. I would have left the stadium with a bag over my head. Ain't no way y'all see me leave the stadium. After I got beat like that, after I've gotten beat like that every game, 47-9, 37-10, 48-32, a yada and a partridge in a pear tree, and you do this, is disrespectful.
White people really got to start going,
They
to
do.
hammer home other people's points.
They do.
We do?
Yeah. That's the number one saying on any podcast in human history. Listen to every podcast ever, and when they're saying something, you're going to hear,
No. That's different. I'm talking about,
Oh, you talk like a little.
like when somebody's cooking.
Like a
Yeah, that's a black. That's a black.
Like
yeah.
a shiver went down your spine.
Yeah.
That's a different one.
Because Stugotz has a.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's not.
different. No one does a.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have enough seasoning in your food to get a out of us.
Too many raisins in them.
That's crazy.
Did you have any thoughts on what the meat of was of what it is that he was saying there?
Yes, I don't know what happened. So explain to me the situation.
They were
CeeDee Lamb,
there was video of them in a club after they lost by a bunch at home to Houston, and they're the first team ever to lose 6 straight games at home where they've lost by more than 20 plus. They're an easy target, and Shannon dragged them because they deserve to be dragged. I just don't think they deserve to be dragged over being in the club after the loss.
Was it being in the club or was it filming a music video?
Okay, so yeah, that's a
filming
big
a music
that's
video at
difference.
the club is what it was. I think.
Filming a music video that's a decision.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
To go film a music video is nuts. To be in the club and it might look exactly the same whether it's a music video or not.
I can't tell the difference.
Is not as crazy as it might sound. It's not a
wait. The Tool Man.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm looking. Is that a music video? Or is that just we're in the club?
It honestly could be a social media team.
Is that TMZ?
In this day and age?
So that they're doing the thing where someone's holding up their flashlight off their phone, and
Yeah.
they're holding the camera with the other hand.
They do seem to be singing a song into the camera, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
CD has a. It's not a good look. To your point,
Hasn't been a good look for 30 years.
Hasn't been a good look. But this is also normal.